Hey, everybody. Sorry. Listen, this show is called A Glitch in the Matrix. And if there's not a glitch with my technology, I don't know what to tell us. Okay. And I just want to thank you guys all for being here today. If I'm a little glitchy, I'm going to switch over to my phone today. Okay. And I hope you guys are all doing great. It's so good to be back. I have been on a whirlwind tour of the United States, it seems like the past couple of weeks. And I have done everything from a trip to Las Vegas with my Space Out Radio family, and flew out to Grafton, Illinois, and got to hang out with my Journey to Truth crew. And I've met people from all over the world the past couple of weeks. It has been fantastic. It's been such a blessing to be able to travel and present my information on cryptids and on remote viewing and things like that, and to meet everybody in person. It's been so awesome. I also, as soon as I got back on, I guess that was Friday, I went straight into the meadow and did some field research with my team this weekend. That was amazing too. So I've got a lot of good stories for you guys. I see Krista from Blondes and Booze in the chat. Hey, Krista. She came and picked me and Barry Littleton up, and our friend Jill, and we went when we were in Illinois, actually, and we went out to dinner one night. So what's up, Krista? Thank you so much for being here. You're the best. Thanks for picking me up, and it was awesome meeting you. Good times, man. Good times. That was so great. Okay, well, I have a fantastic show for us today. On A Glitch in the Matrix, here at the Cryptid Huntress, I have Javier Morales here from CRYPTID559. And if you guys were watching the live stream in Las Vegas from the Golden Nugget, I got to interview Javier live on Space Out Radio. There in Vegas. He actually came out to meet us and to be interviewed. And I had never met him before. And we had so much to talk about. He's got some amazing stories when it comes to researching the cryptids out in Fresno, California. So we're here today with Javier. I'm going to bring him up in just a second. You guys, I have pretty much done the majority of what I used to talk about, how, meeting me out in Las Vegas and Illinois. Now I've got the conference coming up next is going to be the Paranormal Roundtables, second annual Dogman and Cryptid Conference. That's in Fort Worth, Texas. You guys be sure to join me. It's in the ticker down here. Join me there September 1st through the 3rd. It's actually a 3-day event if you get VIP tickets, and do the meet and greet on Friday night. I'm going to be there. I might even bring my kid. I don't know. It's going to be a big old event. So you guys please come hang out with us. We're going to be talking about Dogman and all the cryptids. I'm going to talk about my remote viewing of some of those Dogman cases and alleged Dogman attacks and things like that. So y'all come hang out. And I think I'm supposed to be speaking at the North Carolina Bigfoot Conference. I don't have details on that yet, but that's next month. And so I'll give y'all details as they come. All right. Okay. Well, let's see. We have Javier Morales here in the chat. I was going to say in the chat, in the studio today. Okay. He's with CRYPTID559. It's Javier and Jesus. Now, we don't have Jesus here with us today. I'm going to bring him on soon. We're probably going to have them on Space Out Radio on my show soon. Okay. So CRYPTID559 is a group who's intrigued by cryptozoology. They share their experiences of cryptids and UFO encounters. They explore and investigate the Central San Joaquin Valley, searching for cryptids and UFO evidence. They're located in the Central San Joaquin Valley of California, 30 minutes east of Fresno, and near Yosemite National Park. And if you guys are watching my remote viewing show, you know that Barry's given me some blind targets of the Fresno, or not Fresno, the Yosemite National Park, where they have the Yellowstone whispers. Or that's Yellowstone. That's not Yosemite. Never mind. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's the same. I have no idea. I've never been out that way before. But anyways, we're live on air. I have this blooper. All right. So Sequoia National Park and Kings Canyon National Park. If you've ever encountered cryptids in that area, there is information that he has. They've got an email. You can hit them up on their YouTube channel and on social media. They'll come out and investigate. All right. So please help me welcome to the show today, my friend Javier with CRYPTID559.
Hello,
Hey.
everybody. Hi, Jessica. Thank you for having us on. I appreciate it. And I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. I can't see the chat, but hello, everybody.
Yeah, we've got a good chat today. We always do. We've got a lot of really awesome people in the chat today, and I am so excited you're here. I got to meet you for the first time in Las Vegas. I know Dave Scott invited you down to come chill with us and get interviewed. Yeah. How was
your awesome?
Yeah, it was awesome for me too. What was your favorite part about Vegas?
Spaced Out Radio was meeting everybody, and on that Saturday having that live show and listening to all the speakers. You know, sometimes when you do these conferences, you're in a separate room and you're not able to hear the other speakers, the other guests. And I like hearing all the the speakers, but the way he had it set up, you were able to sit there and listen to everybody's information, which is cool. I like that. That was my favorite part.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I got to interview some fantastic people, including yourself. Not only did I get to interview Jim Goodall, I danced the night away with that man. He's a dancer. And Les Velez as well. And let's see who I didn't dance with you, okay, but I danced with Jim Goodall. That was fun. And it was Les. And it was and John Ramirez was there as well. And so I got to interview with Marquise. So yeah, that was wild. Just meeting these people in person, and there were so many more. It was like a star-studded event, Javier. Right?
It was awesome. Yeah, it was.
I was
awesome.
shocked. I was. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
It was awesome. If people in the chat, if you guys weren't able to make it, I mean, if Spaced Out Radio has one next year, I mean, I encourage you to go. It's awesome. You get to meet and close up, you need to actually meet them there, and you get to talk to them, the speakers, and it was I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Oh, me too. Okay, and I've got Greg in the chat. Greg was at the Journey to Truth conference. Thank you for being here today, Greg. He got to see my presentation there. Actually, I did a presentation, and then Barry Littleton and I combined a presentation, and then Barry did his, and I guess it was fantastic. I don't know. I haven't seen the replay, but I heard it was really good. So I felt like I was just kind of, not rushing through it, but I can talk a lot, Javier. And when it comes to a presentation, 1 minute and 15 minutes is it's like lightning. Okay. It goes by really fast. Right. And I know you give, you come on podcasts, and you even have your own YouTube channel, right? You have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, we have our own YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel called CRYPTID559. And we're also on Facebook. It's Cryptid, but it's the 559 is Roman numerals. Facebook won't let me put the 559 for some reason, but so I did it in Roman numerals.
I was wondering what those V's and I's meant. I was like, what is that?
Yeah,
I thought it was somebody's initials. Okay. My brain did not compute that, I guess, at the time. That's really smart, actually. So, yeah. Well, okay. You told me some incredible stories about some of your research, and you have had a up close and personal, contact and encounters with Dogman, and possibly a modern day dinosaur, like a pterosaur.
Yes.
Can we talk about that a little bit and kind of give me a little background on what happened and what you experienced?
Yeah, the Dogman one was I'll tell you the way it happened was we had just gotten some night vision goggles, and me and my cousin wanted to go out and try them out in that area where the Bigfoots were being seen, the family of Bigfoots, and it's an area called Avocado Lake, and it's about 15 minutes north from Wheatley, California, where we live. So it's not very far. So we drive up there, and it's getting dark. By the time we got there, it was already dark. So it was perfect, to bring out the night vision goggles and get a feel for them. And so he gets one, I get one, and he's messing with one. He's looking down the river bottom. We parked by this bridge, and this bridge, and then the Kings River is that's where we park, and this river goes all the way down through the valley floor. So, but we parked there, and he's looking down the riverbank, and I'm trying to turn on the other one, trying to get a feel for it, and he tells me right away that he sees something that looks like eye shine down by the river bottom, and he's telling me, hey dude, it looks like eyes, like eye shine, like two pairs. And so he gives me the night vision, and I'm looking, and sure enough, it does look like two things were, something was staring back at us. So I told him to keep an eye on it, see if it blinks or if they move or do anything. So he was concentrated on that. So meanwhile, I was getting the other one, and I was looking at all the mountain ridges, and just messing with the other one, getting a feel for it. And then I wanted to look behind us because there's a little ridge behind us, and so I bring my night vision goggles down, and I see my cousin still, trying to figure out what's down there by the river bottom. So I turn around behind us, it's the road, and then it's that little ridge, and then I see this, and it was like, yeah, I see something like this on the ridge right there, and it's waving its arms in the air, and you can see it's all muscle. You can see the outline. It's all muscle. The arms are human. The body is a human. It's human. But you can see all the muscle. You can see the hands, human hands. I couldn't see the face, but you can see the outline of the body. And I'm thinking in my mind, it's Sasquatch. I'm seeing Sasquatch. I'm finally seeing the Sasquatch. But it was doing this, and then when he saw me turn around, because I pulled my night vision goggles down to my chest, and when I turned around, I saw this, and then it goes down on all fours, okay, and then it takes off running on all fours. And then I was telling you in Vegas that when it was running, it moved kind of weird, like it was in stages, like it was running really fast, but it was also like almost like it was skipping. Like I don't know if you understand.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Just
I knew what you meant, and I showed you a video. I believe I showed you a video of an alleged Dogman that looked like it was missing a frame every, and I know this was like an edited video, but from what it's almost like it's almost like it's something it's just supernatural looking to me. Yeah.
Yeah. It was running, and it wasn't making any noise. That's what I caught onto that I'm supposed to be hearing noise. This thing should be making noise, growling or something, and I'm not hearing anything as it runs. So then it gets to this part on the ridge where there's a crease, and it stops, and it brings up its arms up, above its head. And I saw the muscle again. I saw the hands. I saw the nails. It had claws. And then I saw its back. Its back went down to a V shape to the hips. And then I saw the thighs, all muscle. This thing was muscle, all muscle. So it grabs onto the side of the ridge. I hear that a lot
about Dogman. Yeah.
So it grabs onto the side of the ridge, and it brings up its legs, and then I could see the calves. I couldn't see the feet. I didn't see a tail. But at this time, like I said, I thought it was a Sasquatch. But then when it did it a second time, it brought up its arms again. This time it turned its head to the left, and I was able to see the snout, the canines, and the pointy ears. And then I go, wait a minute, that's not Sasquatch. It has a German Shepherd type head on it. It has a dog head on it. What am I looking at? And he was looking back at us. And then when he did that second time, I was seeing the back after I saw the head, the canines, and it's like, dude, this is a dog. It has a dog head. It's a werewolf. And then I'm looking at it, and I can see the back. And I was looking at the legs, and then I could see what looked like. In my mind, it's telling me it was ripped shorts. Like it had ripped shorts on. I know it sounds silly, but
whoa. Ripped shorts.
That's what I saw.
Okay, so that would indicate more of a werewolf than it would a Dogman, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I don't know about
Wow.
skinwalkers. I don't know if they get this big. Okay, this creature was at least um, 6 to 10 feet tall, at least, and the chest part was four to
Whoa.
five feet wide, at least.
Wow.
That's just the chest. This thing was massive. It was huge, fast, stealthy. Didn't make a sound like I'm saying. It
Yeah.
didn't make a sound at all. And when I was doing all this running, and then climbing up the ridge, and when it got to the top part of the ridge, it stayed low to the ground on just inches off the ground, and on all fours it went over the ridge like a spider and quick.
Whoa. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. That's amazing that you got to experience that, and it's also amazing that you survived that because you're alive. I mean, if it wanted to hurt you, did it acknowledge your presence there, or was it just kind of passive?
See, when I first when that's what I was thinking at first. You know, when I first saw it, and then I told my cousin, and he was all upset I didn't tell him, but he didn't hear nothing, or else he would have turned around. Right? We were just 20 yards. It was just 20 yards from us. That's how close this thing was, and and I was thinking it was. I thought it was sneaking up on us from behind. I don't, at
Mhm.
that point, that's what I was thinking. But now that I think about it, maybe we were seeing something down below. Was it pups, Dogman pups? Was it Sasquatch juveniles that it was after? Was it some other type of food that it was after? Maybe we got in its way. We got
Yeah.
between them, and it was after them, and he got
Yeah.
upset. It took off. I mean, or was it a distraction? I don't know.
Wow. I mean, that's the fact that it also appeared to have on clothing, like ripped clothes, and to be so massive, it's hard to wrap your head around that. I can't imagine experiencing that in person, having something that massive with clothes on, you know?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I can't at this point. My life is so weird. I can imagine anything, because I've experienced some weird stuff too. Nothing
Yeah,
is beyond the realm of possibility in this reality,
yeah,
I
yeah.
believe.
That,
Absolutely.
after I saw that, yeah, you know what? Anything's possible. There's got to be vampires. I believe in everything now.
Yeah.
I believed in
Me too.
UFOs and aliens. Like, after seeing that, nah, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that we don't know that's
Yeah.
going on and probably exist.
Absolutely. Well, you at some point got interested in not only like Sasquatch research and Dogman, but you got into UFOs, and you even had your own sighting of a possible pterosaur. Now, the area that you research is the Fresno area, that part of
Yeah,
California, right? And
yes, correct.
it just an area of super high strangeness out there. And so,
Yes. Well, this
I mean,
area
you've
where I
got
saw the
you.
Dogman, this
Mhm.
area where we saw the Dogman, this is, we have been hearing the reports of a family of Bigfoot being seen out there, and it's like I said, it's near Avocado Lake, and yeah, ever since we started going out there, we've been experiencing just weird stuff. We've been seeing orbs, um, hearing some strange sounds that I've never heard before, and then we having a Dogman encounter. Still haven't seen Sasquatch out there, but I saw Dogman. I know Dogman's out there. Um, and then we ended up seeing the pterosaur, exactly the same place where I saw the Dogman. It's like, okay, there's something going on in this area. Is it a portal? There's got to be something going on
Yeah.
here.
There's so many portals all over the place. When there's one portal, there's usually two, and
Okay,
they're coming and going out of these things. I mean, that's just been my experience. Hey, Fred in Alaska, we got Fred Roll in the house. He is scheduled to be my guest at Space Out Radio Saturday night. So I hope you
nice.
guys will join us on SOR with Fred Roll up in Alaska. Yeah, thanks for being here, Fred. So yeah, there's so much going on. It's really interesting that you've never had a Sasquatch encounter, even though you thought that the Dogman uh, could have been a Sasquatch at first, because that's what we normally hear, like Sasquatch
Hmm.
sightings, especially all over California.
Right, you're right. And we were, like I said, we were getting reports that they were out there. There was a family of them out there, so that's what I thought it was. And they had a human body. And
Yeah.
but when I saw the head, it's like, no, what the heck? And I had heard about Dogman, but more to the Midwest, in the eastern part, mainly in the Midwest. But nothing. I had never heard of Dogman being seen out here until I had my encounter. And then I
Yeah.
asked other groups in Fresno friends that actually kind of do this also, and they've said, oh yeah, they've been seeing these dogmen here since the 80s and 70s. I go, what? I go, I've never heard anything. Yeah, well, people aren't going to be talking about anything, and I get it.
Yeah. Well, it makes you wonder, have we just like switched timelines here? What's going on? I mean,
Yeah,
because I'd never heard of Dogman. I'd heard of werewolves, but I don't think there was actually a word for it. They all get clumped together.
right,
Like,
right.
and I
Yeah,
think a lot of times the dogmen have been mistaken, or Sasquatch have been, or dogmen have been mistaken for Sasquatch and vice versa. I think that could have been an issue as well.
yeah, and then
Maybe.
yeah, could be. And then the skinwalker comes to, because that's all native ground. There's a native burial site about 5 miles from that area where I saw my dogman. Um, there's a native burial ground out there, so I know that's, it's it could be part of that. I mean, is it a skinwalker? I don't know. I don't know if skinwalkers get that big. I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't know for sure. It's interesting though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope my yeah, okay, my connection's getting a little glitchy there. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, I don't know, but okay, so you mentioned something about burial mounds, right? Or some kind of burial
Mhm.
grounds or mounds
There's a
or
burial
something, some
ground.
kind of
Yeah.
sacred ground.
Hmm.
Dogmen are known to be seen near like Indian burial mounds and sacred land like that. Have you noticed that? I mean, the
Yeah, I've
dogmen
heard
being there.
that.
Have you heard that theory?
Yeah, I've heard that theory that they're protectors of the sacred
Hmm.
sites, and yeah, I've heard that, and it makes sense
Yeah,
because there's a native burial ground there. I mean, it's not close, but it's about 5 miles away. But still, it's in the area. It's in that
yeah.
whole area.
Well, I would think with a being that's that big, 6 to 10 feet tall, and I mean just huge, they can cover a lot of ground really fast. So five
Yeah,
miles will be nothing to them, covering that
yeah,
amount of ground. I mean that's a walk in the park for something that big, I would
yeah.
assume. But yeah, it kind of takes you back to the Egyptian god Anubis.
Hmm.
It's like he's the god of the underworld, right? And
Right.
protecting the dead and all that kind of stuff. So maybe
Yeah,
there's something to it with these dogmen and these burial mounds.
yeah. I don't,
I don't.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, when we saw it, I didn't feel it was. I felt like it was sneaking up on us, but after when it took off, I didn't feel threatened by it or not a lot of, by it. So I don't know. I know some people say that they get that evil feeling, when they encounter these things, but this one I didn't get that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to hear about your encounter with a pterosaur because that's something that I've talked about. I've gotten reports, firsthand accounts of pterosaurs, modern day living, breathing, flying reptiles that are from like the
Yes.
Mesozoic era or something. I mean, there's like from way
Yeah.
back. These are dinosaurs, basically. Um,
Right.
Tell me
Yeah.
about your
So
experience with that.
when we started our YouTube channel, I was doing we started off doing on my UFO encounter, that me and my family had, and then ended up having a dogman encounter, and then we were hearing about pterodactyls being seen in the valley, and we were like, what? Pterodactyls? And me and Jesus were like,
Yeah.
okay, that's a possibility, because I've been hearing thunderbirds also being seen in the valley. So I go, okay, it's a possibility. Maybe they're being mistaken for one another or something.
Hmm.
So we go up again to this. We like going to this area because, like I said, it's a hot spot, and we just park there. We don't go out at when we go at night. We don't go out walking around in the shrubs in the dark and with the flash. This stuff comes to us. It just comes
Yeah.
to us. So we were out this particular night. It was me and Jesus, and we had just gone there. It was already getting dark, and I had the spotlight, the Walt spotlight that I had, and I wanted to try it out. So I was trying it out, and as soon as we get off the vehicle, we felt something like the energy in the atmosphere. You can feel it. It was something different. Our hair was standing up in our arms. I go, okay, dude. I mean, I told Jesus, I'm feeling this. Are you feeling anything? He goes, yeah, there's something's not right. And Jesus is a little bit more sensitive because it seems like he can feel more than I can. And
Yeah.
if it's good or if it's not, he'll feel it. And so we usually ask each other, how are you feeling? What are you picking up? So we both picked it up this particular as soon as we got off the van. And I go, okay, well, keep your head on the swivel because I know you know what's out here. So just keep our heads on the swivel. So we were doing, he was messing with his camera and I was messing with the spotlight. And then I was shining down to the river. And there's a little island, and there was a bunch of shrubs, overgrown shrubs in this island. And I was just, pointing the spotlight in these shrubs, see if I can catch any eye shine inside these shrubs. And then I hear a loud screech, yell out, and we're all looking like, what? So it came from that island, and then I see this bird coming out of this shrub from that island. And I thought it was when it was coming out, I just saw like a side of the eye and it looked like a bird. I didn't see the whole body. I just saw like the eye, and then to me it looked like a bird. Like, oh, it's one of those cranes that are out here, because we have some white cranes, and then we have the blue and gray. They're bluish grayish color
Mm-hmm.
herons out there, and then we also
like
have
a crane.
pelicans. Yeah, we also have pelicans every once in a while. We have pelicans out here. Like, oh, it's one of it's. I told Jesus, check it out. This is bird coming out of the shrub. So I didn't make anything of it. I just kept the light on it, and I turned around. Like I said, I'm having my head on the swivel. I want to make sure Dogman's not behind us watching this. So I'm like this, looking behind us, and then Jesus says, "Hey, that's a large bird." And when he said that, I immediately turned around, made sure that I had the light on the bird, and we're looking at it. And now I'm seeing a long beak, about 2 feet long. I'm seeing the bone structure around the eye. It has no feathers. I see a little nub on not a pointy one, like a long pointy one, but it's a little nub at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the head, in the back of the head. And we're both looking at this thing, and then it opens up its wings. It opened up its wings, and again, no feathers, no tail, but the texture of the skin was like a bat. When it opened up its feathers,
Wow.
it was like a leathery type skin. So then it opened up its wings and it flapped it once, like but real slow, really slow, and it was off the ground one time. Okay, it just flapped once and it was up the ground, and then it did it one more time, really slow, and then it was over the bridge and it was gone.
Good
And
grief. That I hear that I've had multiple reports of pterosaurs, or some say pterodactyls, but the pterosaurs, they look like they have bat wings, and some of them are reported as having tails like a dragon tail.
Right, this one
But
didn't have a tail.
For it to get that velocity so quickly, or that, what do you call it, where you just launched up into the air with one flap of the wings,
Yeah, it's
that's
that power.
incredible.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I noticed right away. It wasn't flapping like a regular wing, like
Yeah.
a regular bird. Its wings real fast. This was real
Yeah.
slow, really slow. It was off the ground. The
Oh.
next one, real slow, and it was over the bridge. And we noticed when it went over the bridge, it covered two sections of the fence. So the next day, we went out there and measured each section of the fence, and each section was 6 feet wide. So this thing had about a 12-foot wingspan at least. That's estimating. And
Good grief.
and when it was on the ground, it was at least 4 feet tall, at least.
Wow.
And I
I
could
mean,
see
this is
scratches on the
huge.
beak. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Jesus said, it was a huge bird.
Yeah.
And then when it went over the bridge, and we lost sight of it. It went towards the dam, 5 miles up, the river. That's where the dam is. We lost sight of it. We asked each other, "Hey, what did you see?" And me and him were, "Well, what did you see?" So I went first. I saw this. I saw a beak. I saw it had no feathers. I saw leathery type skin. And then Jesus said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And then and then I asked Jesus, "Did we just see a pterosaur or a pterodactyl?" Because
Wow.
that's what my mind is telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were all we were all excited that we just he was all excited that we saw pterodactyl, and yeah,
Wow.
that confirms it for us that yeah, people are seeing these things and they do
Okay, so
exist.
They do, and you have firsthand accounts of this. And now, can I ask you a question? I know in the intro that I gave, it says that you guys research a lot of these national parks. And
Mhm.
was this at a national park where you saw all this, or a state park?
We're
No.
not up. We're not up in the mountains. We're down in the
Okay.
valley floor. So everything's
Wow.
happening on the beginning of the where the mountains start.
Hmm.
Okay, but a lot of this stuff, they're being. We noticed that they follow the river, the Kings River, down to the
Okay.
valley floor, and we're in the agricultural. We have down in the valley. We have a lot of peaches, grapes, um, oranges, citrus, lemons. So there's a lot of food source down here. So I think when we had these big fires back a couple of years, I think they got pushed down here, and now they kind of know that there's a food source. We have wild boar out
Okay.
here, and now they're sticking around, and they're just using the Kings River as a as a road. So we kind of know where they're going. They travel back and forth up to the mountains and down, but we don't have to go up to Sequoia or National. They're down right here in the valley floor.
Wow. Now, do you ever study like the David Paulides missing 411 series? And if so, are there missing persons clusters around these areas?
Well, Yosemite is the number one cluster, so
Yeah.
there's that one there, and that's about 2 hours from here. I haven't gone to Yosemite yet. I mean, back in the days I did when I was a kid, but recently I haven't gone. Yes, there is another area that we go to called Dinky Creek,
Mhm.
and that's about an hour away from where we're at. And some of my friends have experienced different stuff out there, um, and that's where David Paulides has some reports of missing people in that
Yeah.
area called Dinky Creek. It's on the outskirts of Yosemite. It's just before you get to Yosemite, and so we're out there looking. Yeah, you get a sense that there's something going on around there. That you can feel it. The energy is
Oh, yeah.
different. Yeah, you can feel it.
Yeah. What is your take on all these missing people in the clusters being at these national parks? What do you how do you feel about that? What do you think's taking all these people, or where are they going?
Um, I think it's portals, having to do with portals and maybe being abducted by UFOs. Honestly,
Yeah. I can't disagree with that. And I asked you that, and it was not a trick question. I was just trying to segue in because I figured you were going to say UFOs and portals. I just felt it because that's what I feel the same way. Do you? But I don't think it's just that. I think some of these people are just
yeah,
going. I think some of them may even be getting kidnapped. Who knows? I just don't think that it's all
yeah. It's
like
not. Yeah,
Sasquatch carrying these people off. You know what I
no,
mean? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't just everything, but there is some high, yeah, strangeness to it.
High strangeness. Absolutely. Now, UFOs. You guys are really into UFOs and sightings. And
Mhm.
tell me about some of your sightings. And do they correlate with the other cryptid sightings? Are there UFOs as you're seeing these other cryptids out there?
When I had me and my family had the two black triangle encounters.
Hmm.
Um, I don't remember seeing any cryptids. We were just in awe watching these two huge black triangles next to each other, hovering next to each other and heading over the Sierras. And over the Sierras is Area 51. But
Oh,
this was
yeah.
back in 1987 when my family encountered these two huge black
Wow.
triangles, and they had the white lights in each triangle tip, and then a huge red light in the center. And they were silent. They were low to the ground. I'm telling you, they were low. They were not high in the sky. They were
Yeah.
low to the ground, just enough. They barely went over the Sierras. That's how low these things were. And they went over us. No sound. Didn't hear any sound at all. And yeah, so it was just crazy. It was
Yeah,
in
there's it's silent. Just like these cryptids, like you were saying with the Dogman, it was super silent, stealthy. You couldn't hear it at all. And so it almost makes it supernatural in a way. A lot
Mhm.
of this, well, to us, with our human perception, it becomes supernatural because it's hard
Yeah,
to wrap our heads around something so large, something so big, being so
yeah,
stealthy.
exactly. And it wasn't a ghost. It wasn't an apparition because I couldn't see through it. It blocked. It was solid. You couldn't see
Yeah.
through it, so it was solid.
Wow.
And I can see because we went back the next day after I saw the Dogman. We went back the next day in the day, and that's when we found the print on that where we were parked. We actually found a print, and it looks like a canine print, and it's a big print. And I could actually see where he grabbed onto the side of the ridge, and I wanted to go up there, but it's private property, and the owners are on horseback and they're carrying rifles, and they don't want nobody in there. So I don't want to get shot. So.
Oh my gosh, I know, right? You gotta there's a lot of dangers to this research and looking out for other people, like staying out of the way of hunters and things like that. It's a real danger.
Yeah.
Especially at nighttime when we're out there doing that research.
And
Yeah,
we have
so
a lot
Lou
of.
uh-huh.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
We
No,
have
go
a lot
ahead.
of we have a lot of cattle land out here, um, but you know I've never heard anybody say cattle mutilations. I'm pretty sure it happens out here. We have a lot of cattle land, but nobody's talking. Like nobody says anything.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and it's hard to
Yeah.
find the owners of the cattle ranches.
Huh, interesting. I
Hmm.
mean, I've seen several UFOs up close and personal myself, and I've never reported those to like MUFON or anything, just because I guess it's mostly when we're out there doing our research. I'm one of those people. I mean, just think about all of the reports that are out there that are given. There's probably 10 times more that aren't
Right.
reported, you know, and
Hmm.
that includes cattle mutilations and all that stuff.
Yeah, I never
I'm
hear anything about cattle mutilations out here, but I'm pretty sure there is. It's
yeah.
happening, but nobody's talking.
Probably so. Now,
Hmm.
Luis Franco is in the chat. He says, some 411 cases, people hear metallic sounds. Makes you wonder when people hear the trumpet sounds, could it be portals opening up? It's just a theory. I mean, I've heard that about Dogman encounters too. People hear what sounds like a metal dumpster slamming to the ground out in the woods, which is really odd. It's almost like doors are opening and closing. Um, I don't
Okay.
know. I know you're part of the North American Dogman Project, Javier,
Yes.
and I've had Jody on my show and some of
Hmm.
those guys, and
Shame.
and Shane, that's right, Shane
Yeah.
out from
Hmm.
California,
And
and a lot of
Bakersfield. Uh-huh.
times they do describe these metal doors opening and closing, and it sounds like that dumpster getting dropped. Um, from me looking into this stuff too, I've been told, and I've also remote viewed dogmen being down underground in facilities
Okay.
underground. I mean, could it? It's just a theory. Maybe they're coming in and out of those underground facilities. What do you think on that, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel, we have a mountain out here that we call Pictograph Mountain, um, where a Thunderbird's been seen around this mountain and UFOs been seen around this mountain. So we actually hiked this mountain and we actually found the pictographs on the top of this mountain, and we got permission to go um, into that mountain, so we were able to hike it. Um, and there's a lot of strange rock formations on this mountain. Okay, I guess you call them megaliths. I guess that's what you call them. But
Yeah.
a lot of strange rock formations. You got pictographs on the top. You got a huge pictograph of a thunderbird. Now I don't know if it was an actual bird that they were seeing, or was it a UFO back in the days that they were seeing that made
Or
sound,
a pterosaur.
or
What
a
do you think?
pterosaur.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you the story. The owner that lives around there, we know him, and he was telling us about he encountered a group of guys that were coming out of the from the East Coast to this mountain, and he encountered them, and he asked them, "What are you guys doing here?" "Oh, we came from the East Coast. We're camping out here. We know the other owner on the other side of the mountain, and he let us camp out here. But we're trying to catch this huge thunderbird. We're trying to catch it, and that's why we're out here."
Interesting.
And he's all like, "What? What type of bird?" He goes, "Well, it's like a pterodactyl, but it illuminates. It has lights that illuminate from the underbelly."
Oh wow. Whoa, what if some of those UFO sightings are actually pterosaurs? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what
This
I'm
is
thinking too.
so
Now,
wild.
And I actually looked that up, like a pterodactyl with lights, and actually there's one called the Indaba bird. If you've never,
Wow.
you need
I've
to
never
look
heard
that
of
one
that.
up. The Indaba
Okay.
bird. Uh-huh. And it illuminates lights from the underbelly as it's
Oh,
flying.
wow.
Hmm.
Wow. Yeah, when I was in Grafton, Illinois, there's this legend of the, I think it's called the Pisa bird or Piazza bird. I can't remember how you pronounce it, but it's really odd. When we drove in, there was a big painting on the side of a wall of the side of the mountain, and it looked like I called it the human jackalope turkey. I don't know. It
What
was
the
so
fuck?
weird. I
Huh.
know it was like it's. I'm probably going to do a show on this soon, and talk about it because it has a lot of history there of this like man-eating bird chimera. It's like a chimera or some sort of weird cryptid. The Native Americans there had lured it out and killed it eventually at some point, but it's almost like the history of it is kind of being covered up a little bit from what some of the locals told me. And so
Okay.
there's a big story about this, and you know, Illinois and Ohio, that whole area has a lot of dogmen, a lot of weird cryptids, and I'm planning on exploring that a little bit more here in the
That'd be cool.
future. Yeah, because there's just so much out there we don't know, you know, and things. Some people thought that maybe this Piazza bird could have been a thunderbird, but it had the head of something else and a tail of a fish, like
Huh.
it looked like a jackalope with wings. So
Okay.
yeah, I
Yeah, I
know,
mean,
right?
well,
So
look,
just when you think
listen.
it can't get more weird,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
listen. I just a couple of weeks ago, me and my wife were coming home from Fresno late, around 10 o'clock, and then down the road here, getting close to home, and something ran across my vehicle, and this thing was round.
Okay.
It had I thought it was a wild boar, but then when I finally, looked at it really close before it went into the orchards, it was round. It had big legs in the back, and then smaller ones in the front. It had a snout and a pointy ears, and I don't know what the heck that was, but it was fast. I've never seen
Ooh,
that before. It
wow.
was like a little ball, like a ball, not
Huh.
little. It was like a ball, but it had big
Really?
legs in the back, smaller ones in the front, and it was jamming, and it had a snout, and then they had the pointy ears. Now, I don't know what the heck that is.
Okay.
I've
Maybe
never.
maybe it was a juvenile dog man that ate too much food and it was just really pudgy. Maybe it was like a puckwudgie dog man. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah, these things are so weird. I know. I mean, we're laughing about it, but like we see these things and we're like, okay, well, I don't even know what that is. I mean, could they be chimeras coming
Exactly.
up from underground? Or, I mean,
I
who
don't know.
knows?
And
I
other
mean,
friends are telling me,
has the veil thinned? Do you think the
yeah,
veil has thinned, Javier? Or
oh,
do you
definitely,
think like, okay, that's yeah,
definitely. The veil has thinned. Doing this, like I can tell you, the last 4 years, it's just like a huge uptick in all this paranormal and cryptid and UFO. Everything is
yeah,
just a high. It's up. It's for some reason. I honestly I have a feeling it has to do with CERN. I have some.
yeah.
I feel like something that has to do with it. I think this thing is opening up portals all over the world and thinning the veil, and it's
Yeah.
messing with it. It's something's going on with that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, not a boss continuum is in the chat. Hey, Marty, thank you for being here. Y'all go subscribe to her channel, please. It's awesome. Okay, so speaking of CERN, I am actually going to be heading up this next month in June. I'm going up to East Tennessee to a woman's property. She and her husband have some property, like almost 500 acres, up in East Tennessee, not too far from the Oak Ridge Labs.
Oh,
And if you're familiar with that, that's I talk about it on my show pretty often, all my shows. They allegedly have a large hadron collider underneath the ground there, just
wow.
like CERN. Yeah, and a lot of strange cryptids are coming out from that area.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, who's to say? I mean, I hear there's one in Atlanta. There's also a hadron collider potentially in Atlanta, and they're all over. Somebody told me there are upwards of 30 large hadron colliders all over the world right now that are fully functionable.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, first of all, it makes you wonder why all these large colliders all over the place? Second of all, what in the heck are they doing? Are they shifting us into another dimension all the time? Like, what is all these Mandela effects? Are they all related? Are the cryptids coming from these portals they're creating? I think they could be.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I was going to talk to you about when you were saying something. Oh, what's the name of it? Dang it. The town, Helltown. Are you familiar with Helltown in Ohio?
Helltown. No, but it sounds interesting. No.
It's the town that was evacuated back in the 70s, I believe, by the government overnight.
Okay.
Have you
Well,
ever
I've heard of
that?
there was Portlock, Alaska that was evacuated up in Alaska,
Right,
but I've
right.
not heard of Helltown. No.
That's the name they gave it. I don't remember the actual name of that town, but all of this there is just a remnants of the housing. But yeah, the government came in overnight and evacuated all the people. It's almost like, I don't know if you were familiar with the show Stranger Things, but
Yeah, absolutely.
okay, it's almost like something was going on, like a lab or something happened in that area. The government came in, evacuated this whole town. The people, were all upset, but overnight they told them to get out, and they couldn't get back in there.
Was it
And,
like Silent Hill? Have you seen that movie? That's a good
yeah,
movie.
I've never seen it, but I've heard about it. But yeah, it's
A
probably
little
similar.
creepy. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so they call it Helltown in Ohio. I believe it's in Ohio.
I'm going to write that one down. That sounds like a really good remote viewing target,
Hmm.
actually. I'll have to give
Yeah.
that to Barry to assign that to me one day, unbeknownst to me.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. And I mean, it could have implications with like the Montauk project with CERN. I mean, there's no telling. Now, from what I've been told, and I don't have firsthand knowledge of this, but there may or may not be a Hadron Collider somewhere near Atlanta, maybe in Georgia. And when this thing was turned on, something very dark happened, and allegedly something came through it, and whatever portal it opened or whatever. And I'm not sure if they shut it down. They'll say they shut them down, but they still use them. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
But I do know that around that same time, I lived in downtown Atlanta, and there's a place called Home Park, which sits over like downtown, like Georgia Tech and Georgia State University,
Okay.
that area where people live and their dorms are, and crime went up exponentially in that area. And they say that's kind of where this collider might be. So hey, Javier's there. He is. There he is.
I'm
So they
sorry.
say
Yeah.
that is. I thought that was my computer. Usually is. So they say that that they turned this thing on. I do know that crime went through the roof, from robberies to car thefts to assaults, a lot of assaults, murders, all that in that area when this came on. So it's something very negative, very dark happens when these things are turned on. I don't think there's a whole lot of good that comes out of it, to be honest.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
scary. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to tell you, in our areas where our hotspot areas that we've encountered, we've encountered that there's quarries, rock quarries near these places. By Avocado Lake, there's an abandoned rock quarry across the street. Um, Another hotspot area that we go to is called Snake Road. There's a
Okay.
quarry. There's a quarry not too far from there. There's an active one there, and then when I've had our other hotspot, there's another quarry. I'm I don't know if these quarries have something to do with it. Are they digging into something that as they were digging, did they open up a portal, or did they
Yeah.
dig something up? I mean, I don't know, but over here they seem to kind of hide the quarries,
Interesting. That's so interesting that you say that, because quarries, well, what are they mining there? It's usually like quartz or something, some kind of
Yeah,
rock or mineral.
yeah.
And so those are conductors, right? Like energy conductors. So
Hmm.
uh I mean, I've watched videos about, like the old world fairs and things like that. And by the way, and thank you, Greg, for that clarification on the piasa bird or the piazza. I appreciate that. Brown Dwarf's in the chat. Hey, Brown.
Hey.
He and I have talked about these old world fairs and all this hidden history, and I've seen videos when I was doing my research for that show, those shows that we've done, where a lot of times they build these quarries where there's, on sacred ground, or there was something there that they were trying to get rid of, like technology of some sort that was being used, perhaps potentially like stargates, or let's just say like free energy stuff that was going on. They put these quarries there in these sacred grounds, and they just stripped the land of whatever was being hidden there or was being utilized there.
Okay.
So it could be, that could be why.
If you could have been that from people in.
Okay. Let's see. I think Javier might be frozen. Might be frozen there. Okay. It's usually me. So I'm just checking my phone. It's not me. Javier, if you want, log back in. Log out, log back in. We'll get you back on because you look like you're frozen. But yeah, talking about the quarries, which is interesting is Fred, who's in the chat today. Fred in Alaska. Hopefully he's still listening while he's driving. There's a connection between quarries and cryptids and gold mines and caves and cryptids as well. And those are areas where there's these natural resources. So Javier, you're back. What's up? Can you hear me? Okay, maybe he's still frozen. Okay, so yeah, there's a connection between, there he is. Okay. Yeah, there's a connection between the quarries, cryptids, gold mines, and cryptids, and it's just, are they guarding these places, or is there just some, is that a place where portals open, where they're utilizing Earth's natural portals? I mean, it's something that we don't know for sure, and will we ever know? Who knows? I'm not sure.
It's a theory it's a theory that I have about this area that I've noticed. But when you said about technology, other people in this area have been telling me about they believe that there's some ancient technology in this area that they might be trying to either get or hide or something is going on here.
Yeah, there's something. Well, speaking of hiding stuff, you're actually exposing stuff, and so I've got some pictures. We've got a few more minutes left today? Well, actually, you know what? This is my show. I can go as long as I want. I just remembered. I thought I was on Space Out Radio for a second. I just hit a time warp. We don't have to go right this minute.
Okay.
I forgot. This is my show. I do what I want. Okay. But I do want to show your evidence, Javier, because you have some amazing pictures, and I didn't get a chance to upload all of them, but I got the ones that I could. So let's go over some of your pictures before we go today, if that's cool with you.
Yeah.
And we'll explain to the audience what we're looking at. So for the ones who are on podcast format, they can get a clue and an idea of kind of what we're looking at. Okay. Let's start off with, let's see. I'm going to show some of these pictures first. All right. Okay, so what are we looking at here?
So this one is people are telling me it's a dogman just looking straight at us. And this is maybe 10 feet away from us. So this particular area, I mean, I don't know if you can see it. It's right in the middle. You can see the nose. You can see the eyes. It's the actual head.
Yes. Here, let's see. I think I have a picture where you outlined it.
Yeah.
If I can get my clicker on it. Hold on. I'm a little slow here. This is a new computer. Y'all know my computer got zapped in Las Vegas. So I had to go out and buy a new computer this week. So I'm just learning this new computer. So this is the same where you kind of outlined it, where you can see its face.
Yeah, there it is right there. And it was yeah. So this particular area is right off a road, right next to a road. Some houses are there, but it's a eucalyptus island, eucalyptus trees. Mm-hmm. And I noticed some structures in there, and I noticed some X's in there. So I told my cousin, hey, let's go check this out real quick. It's right next to the road. So we did, and on this particular day, so we went, we parked, we got off. As soon as we got off, got a stench of rotten meat, dead animal, something bad. It stunk. We both got the stench, and we were feeling like something was there, big time. And we did a video on it. I just can't remember the title of it, but we did a video on it. And then I ended up seeing a shadow in the trees. And then I told my cousin, you know what? Start taking pictures of all the dark places. Just take pictures, just random pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that, and then I was doing a video of all the structures, and we were there maybe about 20 minutes, and then we wrapped it up. And then when we got home, he was reviewing the pictures. I go, dude, there it is, right there. It was right there. It was staring right at us.
Wow.
It's
Wow,
like,
that's fantastic. I mean, okay, let's go to the next picture too. Okay, says you have something. And now is that you standing in front of the camera right there?
yeah, that's
That's
me.
you.
Yeah, I'm standing in front of that I believe was a structure being built. It was a newer
Mhm.
structure, and I told the guys take a picture of me. And this is up by it's up by Avocado Lake, but it's up towards the dam, so it's about 10 miles from Avocado Lake. But it's still in the same area. It's near the sacred. It's near the native burial site. It's about a
Mhm.
mile from the burial site. But this is a park that's off limits, but we ended up walking in. We
Oh
walked in there,
wow.
and
Yeah.
we started finding structures in there, and they took a picture of me in front of the structure. And in 2020, during the COVID, when we were home, I was reviewing these pictures, and I noticed something in the back, and hiding behind this tree. Look, I go, there's no. That's I don't remember a tree having two tree trunks in that part. And so I start zooming in, and sure enough, there's a figure, what looks like standing behind this tree trunk. But we
Oh,
didn't see nothing when we were out there.
wow.
And if you zoom in, you can actually see the arm. You can see the hand. It's a big paw. You can see the eyes
Oh.
between these two branches. I don't know if you can zoom in, but
Oh, I can't zoom in. I'd
okay,
probably blow my computer to pieces if I tried to do anything beyond the norm. Okay,
okay,
that's just my luck. Yes,
yeah,
but yeah, there's some people that are probably watching this right now that are on their big screen TVs. Who knows? I hope so. I hope y'all got me on the big screen. Um, but they could probably see it a little better, and we can always go back and look at it and blow it up too.
yeah.
So
And I
I
have an actual.
apologize.
I printed out an actual photo, and in
Uh-huh.
that photo you can clearly see that it's a figure. Other people tell me that had Sasquatch encounters, that it's a Sasquatch,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's probably a juvenile. But like I said, we did not see it when we were out there.
Uh-huh.
Jesus did feel like something was out there, like watching us. He did get that,
Yeah.
but we didn't see it.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Well, he always picks up, and I know I remember this from you talking with me in Las Vegas, that he's very in tune with his energetics, and
Uh
like
huh.
and can feel when something's around, and he gets kind of sick sometimes. And I know that
Yeah.
infrasound is that's a real thing,
Yeah.
and it can make you not feel well.
Yes.
It's our body's natural alarm system is what that is, in my opinion. Okay, now I've
Yeah.
got some more pictures here. Now I didn't upload those print pictures. I wanted to, I couldn't get them to upload. So I'm gonna bring those up next time I have you on.
Sure.
But we have these pictures. So kind of explain to us what we're looking at with
Okay.
this.
This one's the same area of that one where we caught the juvenile. Um, we were hiking in there, and we noticed these, what I call a structure. It's like an arch. You can see that these two branches are tied at the very top. And then again, if you look down the center, I should have sent you a better one, but down the center, there's something staring right back at us again.
Oh
It's it's
yeah.
that it's that little black um, spot in the middle, in the middle of the structure. And I had another picture. I don't know if you have it there, but it's a little more zoomed. There you go.
Here we go. Right here. I do. I have a couple. Actually, let me I got this one. It might be a little better.
That's what
Is
I'm
that it?
seeing there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
There's something peeking at you.
yeah,
Yeah.
something's there. I don't know if it's Dogman. I don't know what that is. But again, we walked through that whole area, never saw it,
Uh-huh.
but there is something there.
Yeah. It definitely looks like there's something there peeking at you. All right, and I've got a couple more pictures here. You can explain to us
This,
what we're
yeah.
looking at. There's a yeah.
So this is where we had the Dogman encounter. This is just where we parked, and you can see the ridge right there. That's on the right. You can see that ridge. That's where the Dogman was, and it ran in where that crease is. That's where it went up. So you can
Oh
see
my
how close we
gosh.
were. That's how close
That's
we were.
very close. My goodness, that's way closer than I was imagining. Okay, so that's and there looks like a
Yeah.
ravine or something in this picture.
Yeah, that's the same. It's just the river. That's the Kings River, and
Uh-huh.
that island in the middle there in that river, that's where the pterosaur came out of, right
Oh my
there.
gosh. Oh, well, we have visuals now, so we see where the pterosaur came from. Amazing. Now, is this the
Mhm.
same hill where the Dogman was?
Yeah, this is where the Dogman was. It ran in the middle. There's like a little trail in the middle of that mountain there, that ridge. That's where it
Mhm.
ran, and then it went up. It went over that ridge there.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so where do you think dogmen live? That's just a legit question I get asked all the time. Do they den like you hear dog dens? Do you think they're underground or what?
I think in our area, I can just say for our area, I think they're underground, and I really haven't come across dens, but I've seen maybe a few, but not very much. So I think they're underground or in caves. I heard there's a lot of caves there, caves also.
Yeah. Caves are a good explanation, I think, for sure. But a lot of people think that there's a supernatural element and they're just coming and going out of the portals, and that's it. Now, I tend to think that there's a wide variety. I think that a lot of these creatures have
Mhm.
learned to use Earth's natural portals, perhaps potentially. But I also
Yeah.
think that they're just living here, and they are, living in caves or underground or digging dens or government
You
experiments.
know,
You know.
like I tell you, here in the valley floor, there's a lot of citrus. I don't know. They could be living inside a citrus tree. It covers. They just go inside a citrus tree. You're not gonna see them.
Wow. Okay, have you heard the theory that they are, especially Sasquatch, are arboreal? I think is how you pronounce that, and where they live in the trees,
In the trees. Yeah, yeah.
especially up in
That's
California. You
possible.
guys have those redwoods up there.
Yeah.
Imagine. I mean, those things are
We have the
gigantic.
Sequoia. Yeah. There's redwoods.
Wow.
Yeah, up in the hills.
So they could hold a Sasquatch, I think, if
Oh
they
yeah.
needed to.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, Jeff Townsend, thank you so much. This is my buddy Jeff. We used to be next door neighbors, but now we live a little farther apart. But thank you, Jeff, for that super chat. You're the sweetest. I just talked to Jeff earlier today. Yeah. Um, I mean, I get like that. Like I said, I get asked that question all the time. Where do they live? And that was one of the questions I had when I first started doing all this research. And we really don't know about that, but I don't
now,
know.
now the area that we call Pictograph Mountain, like where it had all those thunderbirds and UFOs, we found an upside down tree also there. An upside down tree. We took photos of that. Now, what does
Oh,
that mean? I mean, I've never seen an upside down tree. The only place I've seen it are documentaries from Alaska, where they
yeah.
show upside down trees. But we actually found one there at Pictograph Mountain. Uh, so I don't know. It has to be a marker of some sort, I believe. Is it a burial marker? Is it a territorial marker? I don't. But it's a marker that we feel it's a marker of some sort. But this
Oh
whole
my
area
gosh.
is strange. It's weird. We've had so many different types of experiences there. We picked up EVPs in this area. Um, I don't know if it's the cryptids. I don't know if it's ghosts. I don't spirits. I don't know.
Hmm. Do you
But
think they're all
but like
connected somehow? All
yeah,
these
I
all these
feel
cryptids.
yeah yeah they're connected. They're all coming in from the same portals. They're using the same. From what we experienced out here, yeah, I think everything's together, connected together.
It makes you wonder, are we as humans the only ones who don't know how to utilize this stuff? Or I think some of us do know how to utilize them. I think some people
Yeah,
do. I'm not
yeah,
saying I do, but I mean, I think there's like hidden knowledge. I think this is stuff that's hidden from all of us.
yes,
I'm just
exactly.
saying. I'm just saying. Okay, I cannot not ask you about the Fresno night crawlers. Have you ever experienced a Fresno night crawler?
Haven't seen one yet. Out there, I have not experienced that yet, but yeah, they're in Fresno. Like Fresno night crawlers are from our area, um, and I have not gone out to that actual area yet to make a video, but hopefully in the future we'll be out there and make a video on that area, on that encounter.
Okay. That's one of my favorite cryptids because it's like a little ghost of like pants, little pants ghosts. I love
Yep.
those. Yeah, they look super like not threatening. It's way cuter than a Dogman. Just saying.
Yep. Yep.
Um, but you know, when with your luck, actually, I'm saying this is luck because this is a good thing. You're going to be out there looking for Dogman, and you're gonna have an encounter with some night crawlers. Isn't that an unfortunate name for such a cute cryptid?
Yeah.
Night crawler
Yeah.
sounds so ominous.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Long Island Bigfoot in the house. Hey, Mike, thank you for being here. Brown Dwarf. We got a bunch of people in this chat today. So yeah, we have a great crowd. I want to thank everybody for being here today. Now, thank you so much for being here, Javier. This has been a really fun show today, and I can't wait to hear more about your research. And I'd love for you to come back on with me sometime, and let's chat it up some more. What do you have planned for the future? Are you still out there with Jesus, and you guys are boots on the ground?
Yeah, we're out there on the field. We're getting some more evidence. Hopefully we can catch a picture of the pterodactyl. Uh, that's our next goal, is trying to figure out how we can get a picture of it. We kind of know, when it comes out now. We've documented. We have the months, so we narrowed that down when it's going to be out in by the rivers. So yeah, so we're trying to get a picture of
Okay.
that and just keep getting evidence.
Okay, we have a question. I think you said that the pterosaur was about, how tall did you say it was again? Because Scott was asking.
It was about at least 4 feet, 4 or 5 feet tall when it was on the
Yeah.
ground, on the river there, on that island.
And another question: did you say something about a Bigfoot, the Bigfoot city? I've seen two comments about that. I don't remember talking about a Bigfoot city,
No, it
so
was a
I don't
family of
know.
Bigfoot. No,
Okay,
it was
okay,
yeah, a family of Bigfoot that were
okay.
seen
Where
down in
was that in
Colorado.
California?
It was in that same spot where the Dogman. It was that same
Oh, it's the
area.
same spot. Okay,
Yeah.
area of
See,
super duper high strangeness.
yep, sure is. There's a lot of stuff going
Wow.
on.
Well, you be safe
And
out there, and please listen to Jesus. Okay, that Jesus is your cousin, right? Definitely listen to
uh,
him whenever he feels something, because that's definitely the human alarm system. It's like our natural alarm system, and I
yes,
think you both go with your gut and know when to
yeah,
get the heck out of Dodge if you need to.
yep,
Yeah,
yeah, we do.
yeah,
We always ask each
yeah,
other.
yeah. Well, get each other's backs. Absolutely. Okay. Well, where
Jessica,
can people find you? Yes. Go
I wanted
ahead.
to tell you real quick. Avocado Lake, a lot of it's a recreational park, but a lot of drownings every year for some reason.
Ooh. Oh.
A lot of drownings.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's part of that area,
Hmm.
and I don't know if
Okay.
something's
So
taking them down. I don't know, but a lot of these people that drown, they know how to swim. They know how to swim, so I don't know what's going on. But every year you hear about drownings in that lake.
wow. Yeah, we have a lake here in Georgia that has an exponential amount of drownings every year. It's called Lake Lanier. And
Okay.
I have been so silly enough to go swimming in that lake for most of my adult life, not recently.
Okay.
When I started remote viewing, one of my first missing persons cases or cold cases was my very first high priority target. Was a It was a blind target, but there was a person who had been killed and dumped into the lake at Lake Lanier,
Okay.
and I remote viewed it. I didn't know what it was. I just had a set of numbers, but I remote viewed a person getting shot and their body getting dumped in the lake, and then it resurfacing by a community picnic table area months later. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. And they did
Wow.
find that body. And yeah, that was one of my first cases I ever did.
Wow.
So after that, after seeing what I saw, I will never swim in that lake again.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bet.
But people go missing because they actually they went in and they drowned out, they flooded out towns, whole communities, to build that lake. And
Wow.
some people say it's haunted, just like Avocado Lake could be. And
Yeah.
who's to say there's not creatures underground, or UFOs being seen coming in and out of the water? I mean,
Yeah.
who knows?
Okay.
Yeah. So it could all be connected though.
Oh, you know what? want to tell you another one real quick, and you're probably trying to get off,
Okay.
but
Yeah, we
there's
got
another
plenty
one.
of time. We got plenty of time. This is my show. I do what I want, like I said.
So another story connected to Avocado Lake was the Virgin Mary appearing on the one of the trees there at that park. The Virgin Mary appearing on one of these trees, and
Whoa.
yeah, and
Interesting.
so there was this gentleman that was he didn't like the Virgin Mary. He didn't like people going up there with this tree and worshiping it and just leaving it flowers. He didn't like any of that. It was not even his property. This is it was a park, a recreational park. It's not his property, but he came one day and he came and cut that tree down. Okay.
Oof.
He came
Uh-oh.
he came and cut the tree down and he was going to burn it. So a witness told me, telling me the story that he was watching him, and he was pouring gas on this tree and he was going to burn it up. So he poured gas all over it and threw a match. It would not turn on. It would not turn on. The gentleman was getting upset. He was kicking the tree. It would not turn on. So then he took off to, I don't know where, but maybe to get something else. But the gentleman that was watching this gentleman try to burn this tree with the Virgin Mary on it, he actually, when the gentleman took off, he actually took the trunk. He took it to his property.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, and he has it on his property to this day, and I was able to see it. And yeah,
The holy
you can,
stump. I like that.
yeah.
Holy
And
stump.
you can, so there's stuff. Yeah, I don't know, but that's part of the Avocado Lake also. And that was documented in the news.
Wow, that's an anomaly.
So I don't know if it's all connected there, but yeah, that happened in that area. And then also these monks came to this area, to that Avocado Lake area, and they came in a bus, and they said that they were getting messages that they needed to come and pray at this site because it was a sacred site.
I get it. I get that it's a sacred site, but what makes it so sacred is the question. What is going on there? Does it have to do with the cryptids, the activity? Is there portals? Is there a Stargate? I mean, that's something that I think a lot of us are wondering. So there's definitely something super highly strange going on over there. And now Brown Dwarf has a question about any news out of Yosemite. Javier, I think he's frozen a little bit right this minute. So hopefully there he is. Yeah. So Javier, is there any news out of Yosemite that you're aware of? I think we may have talked about that in the beginning of the show today. So, and Javier is frozen. So maybe when he comes back, we can talk about that. I want to thank everybody. There he is. Yeah.
Yosemite.
Hey,
Hi, I'm sorry. The internet.
It's okay. It happens every show. It's usually me.
Yosemite. Any news out of Yosemite? A lot of missing people every year. Never fail.
Yeah. Yeah, those missing persons clusters. That's something to watch out for. I would be hesitant to go out there from all the missing persons cluster. I say that, but like my team researches areas where we have missing persons clusters. So
and I want to do that. I told Jesus and my cousin, I want to go where these people have gone missing and look at those areas. I want to see what's in those areas. Are there structures? Cryptids out there?
Yeah.
I wanted to go. I want to do that. Hopefully, maybe down the line we'll get to do that.
Yeah. Well, I have an inkling that you're going to be out there researching, and you're gonna get to the answer or to the bottom of some of these questions. And with some of these cryptids, you have some of the most incredible stories with the incredible encounters, Javier. And I just want to thank you so much for sharing those with me today. Listen, is there anything else we could talk about before we go today? Because we're gonna bring you back on again soon. And
we'll wait for next time.
We'll wait for next time. Okay, let's make a list. We're gonna make lists for next time I bring you on. And so yeah, I want to thank everybody once again for being here. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. I know I have a few more left down here. And I want to thank Jeff. Thank you for that super chat today. You were the sweetest. And yeah, if I missed anybody's messages, yeah, everybody appreciates you, Javier, too. Everybody's loving you being on here today. And I know you can't see all the comments. I've been trying to pull them up on the screen for you. But there's a whole bunch of compliments in here, and everybody really loves your research, you and Jesus. So please keep up the good work. Yeah, keep up the good work, and yeah, and keep taking pictures, and we're going to talk soon. And yeah, I just want to thank everybody for being here today. Y'all, please join me tomorrow night. I'm going to have a great remote viewing target. Barry has given me 2 targets. I'm going to be posting whichever one I do. I'm going to post it in my Patreon tonight. And make an announcement. It's in between 2, and I don't even know what they are yet completely. Barry hasn't told me at all what his target was that he gave me, and I have an inkling of what the first one was, and they are mind-blowing targets. I got a lot of good ideas when I was at that Journey to Truth conference on targets. People were giving Barry targets to give me at that conference. So we're gonna see. These are blind, and it's gonna be a good time. So yeah, y'all join me tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's 5 p.m. Pacific. And then I'll be here on Space Out Radio this weekend. I've got Fred Roll, who's in the chat today. He's going to be my guest on Saturday. And I will announce my Sunday guest later this week. Okay. So Javier, thank you so much for spending your afternoon. Actually, it's your morning. Thank you for spending your morning with me.
Well, thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And tell Jesus I said hello, and bring him with you next time. Okay. And we'll have a good old discussion. Okay. Well, everybody, y'all have a great day. Javier, have a wonderful day, and we'll see y'all later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.